Oh my god, guys, we have breaking news regarding iPhone 17, and it's about a revolutionary feature that's gonna change your life, and that's a new camera module. Wow, yes, the leaks regarding iPhone 17 Pro's camera bump keep on coming, and this time we have news about it being more seamless. Wow, we've really hit rock bottom, haven't we? According to Weibo source Fixed Focus Digital, the connection area between the camera bump and the back cover, wow, will be more of a slope instead of a step. And allegedly Apple is using new manufacturing techniques to achieve this groundbreaking upgrade. Now jokes aside, I'm assuming this design change is purely because the back of the iPhone 17 Pro is going to be part aluminium now, and so similar to older Pixels, for example, where the camera bump was flush with the rails of the device, we could see the aluminium camera module on the iPhone integrated with the sides of the device. Another example I can think of is the Galaxy S21. Do you remember how the camera module was integrated with the rails of the device on that? Maybe that's what we're getting with iPhone 17 Pro as well. Now, to add to all of this, leakers are still unsure what kind of camera module we're getting in the first place. Initially, rumors all said it would be a horizontal layout, similar to the Pixel once again, which would make this iPhone stand out because basically every iPhone since the iPhone 11 Pro has had the same stove camera design on the back. However, there is a reason Apple stuck to this design, and it's not because they're lazy, it's because the lenses are at equal distance from each other, which allows for seamless switching between the lenses, but also the positioning of the camera now helps the iPhone record spatial video, and so moving the lenses could break these aspects of the camera experience, hence why other leakers have been suggesting the stove design is going to remain, but Apple's still going to incorporate a part aluminium, part glass back cover. As usual, early leaks are a bit of a confusing mess, and it's kind of funny we're getting so many leaks about the back of the phone. But anyway, here's hoping we get a clearer image on the design changes very soon. Now, some of you might be a little confused that I keep saying part aluminium, because you're probably thinking to yourself, wait up, weren't the Pro phones made out of titanium? Well, apparently Apple could be scrapping that and switching back to aluminium. And you may be thinking, why? Well, I think a big reason could be color choices. We all know that color choices on the Pro phones are pretty plain compared to the regular models, and it's partly because the titanium chassis on the Pro phones is very hard to color in bright shades. And so maybe they're moving to aluminium just so they can give us more fun colors on the Pro models for once. Especially since nowadays functionally these phones aren't very different. If Apple gives Pro consumers bright shades of red, green or blue for once, that could actually get people to upgrade. Visual changes are a big way to get people to realize that hey, this phone is new and I should buy it. And I think another side reason could simply be cost. Maybe titanium is just too expensive for Apple to continue using in the long run, and so they might want to widen their profit margins and use aluminium instead. Yes, there will be a compromise with the durability of the device, since titanium is a tougher material, but if it comes in more fun colors, I don't think people would mind. Also remember, the phone could get lighter. You know what I wouldn't mind though, guys? If you subscribe to the channel, of course. It's free and will bring you the latest of Apple right to your subscription box, so please consider it. It would be appreciated. Join the Saranbyte gang now. Anyway, let's now move on to iPhone 17 Air. Essentially, for those out of the loop, the plus size is dead. It's not been selling well, and it's funny because that was brought in as a replacement for the Mini, which was also not selling well. And so what I've learned from this is that we don't really need a fourth iPhone in the range, but Apple thinks otherwise because they're back with a new fourth option, and this time it's a slim model. So this is rumored to be called iPhone 17 Air, which yes, makes sense based on what Apple's done in the past, but also do know Air doesn't actually mean thinnest product anymore. For example, the iPad Air is actually thicker than the iPad Pro, so the name has kind of lost its meaning over the years, but for a product like this, Air does make sense, and it would be nice for the time to go back to its roots. By the way, this should be crazy thin, because we're hearing this could be thinner than the iPhone 6, yes, the bendy iPhone, and could apparently be 5 to 6 millimeters in thickness, which is pretty wild when you consider current Pro iPhones are 8.25 millimeters in thickness. Now, if you're worried about how durability is going to be with such a thin device, do remember the M4 iPad Pro, which is actually even thinner than the rumored iPhone 17 Air, had no bending issues as such, and so I'm sure Apple could do their engineering magic once again to prevent another Bendgate situation. Now, because it's so thin, there will be compromises with the specs. For example, we're expecting this to come with one camera on the back instead of the dual or triple lens we usually come to expect, and the single lens will be a 48 megapixel camera that I'm assuming is going to be similar to the iPhone 16 Pro's current main camera. To be honest, that's a non-issue. The ultra wide is nice to have, but it's a softer lens compared to the main, and it's pretty niche since not everyone will use it on a regular basis, Plus, because you're getting a 48 megapixel camera, you get the option for a 2x telephoto crop, which makes up for the lack of a telephoto lens. Another compromise we can expect is no physical SIM card slots. Now, this has been the norm for those based in the US, but apparently the 17R will be the first iPhone that's eSIM only everywhere. Now, I would say eSIM has become popular enough globally for this to be acceptable, and if anything, releasing an iPhone without a SIM card slot globally is going to force everyone to switch to eSIM and accelerate the process. And apparently another compromise we're going to see is with the speakers. There's no space to add another speaker on the bottom edge of the device, and so the earpiece is going to double as a speaker on the 17 Air. Hopefully it doesn't sound a lot worse than the other iPhones. The phone will also feature Apple's first in-house 5G modem, which I'm hoping is more efficient, but there may be a few little issues with it because it's a first-gen product, and apparently it's only coming to the Air, not the Pros, so that should tell you how confident Apple is right now with these modems. But here's hoping it's not as bad as those horrible Intel modems back in the day. We can also expect a compromise with the battery, which is to be expected, but yeah, hopefully the endurance is not too bad. The size of the 17R is expected to be right in between the regular and Pro Max size options at 6.6 inches, so in a way this is similar to the iPhone 10 that was in between the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, and it's going to have the regular A19 chipset with 8 gigs of RAM, as well as a new 24 megapixel selfie camera, which does pique my interest because it's been a while since the front facing camera got any upgrades. Now, I know some might be a little confused by this product because its specs are closer to a regular iPhone, or actually worse in some aspects, but it's going to have a design that's going to be superior to every other new iPhone. And so who's actually going to be buying this? Well, since phones have kind of matured and reached their peak when it comes to functionality, there may be consumers who are just interested in a phone that looks cool and puts form over function. And so I'm guessing Apple's betting on that market being big enough for the 17 Air to be a success. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments, make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this, and thank you for watching. So because we know so much about the iPhone SE4 already, now we have leaks regarding the name of the actual phone, because apparently it won't be called iPhone SE, and it could be called something entirely different. Let's delve in. So according to Fixed Focus Digital and Weibo, they claim the iPhone SE4 might not be the iPhone SE4, and instead Apple might brand it as the iPhone 16e. Which is very odd and would be very un-Apple-like, but then again, this is the same company that gave us the iPhone XR, and till this day, we really don't know what R meant. Phil Schiller basically said he liked the sound of R, and so that's why they used it. So yeah, Apple can be random with their naming schemes sometimes, but I don't see this